because I seen you, elevate. I can say, yeah, I seen it from this point to this point and the constant evolution. That definitely an eyewitness. You know what I'm saying? For
God,
sure.
I appreciate that. That's big for me because like I'm even surprised myself sometimes. I surprise myself like, God damn, you know.
Okay, so most people, a lot of people want to do things but never do it. So what really gave you out? We got people that it's a lot of influence, out in the world in general. You know,
Right.
so you got people that's, you know, influence, whether it's negative or positive. There's influence. There's constant. There's constant influence all over the place. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
In many different, forms and fashions and stuff like that. So, what did you do to kind of, purposely allow yourself to be purposely influenced in the way that you wanted to be influenced to accomplish what you wanted, what you intended to accomplish, and what you have accomplished thus far?
Wow, that's a great question. I would say I had to identify the difference between an idea and a physical creation. You know, I had to identify the difference between those two, and I came to the conclusion that in manifesting something, it has to go through a process, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so once I broke down that process of the creation of the idea, the work put into it, and then the constant work, the momentum. This goes back to the video that I watched from you a while ago called, I think it was called The Power of Momentum, right? I watched it. And you were breaking down how you need to be able to keep a certain momentum to actually manifest something into existence. It's not just boom. You got to catch that inspiration and you got to use that to your advantage and constantly put, energy forward. So I'm like, okay,
We
be
got
here
to.
now, right now. I'm like, so once I get an idea, everybody gets ideas. Everybody gets millions of ideas a day. But there's a difference between an idea and then a manifestation. So I identified with that. I'm like, okay, I want to make this book. I can't let this go. Let me do something to get it into this world. So I wrote it down. Boom, I'm gonna make a book. You know, and then I took that. What kind of book? I took that. Okay, the cover, the name. And I just kept building. So the secret is, don't let the idea go away. Don't let it get wasted. So somehow find some kind of way to manifest that idea and inspiration into the physical world. And all you got to do from there is just keep building little by little, and you'll see it eventually.
So a lot of key points that many might miss out on based on what you just said. So we're dealing with a multitude of different things that all go alongside each other to make these things actually work in our favor, and without even without mentioning obstacles, because we all have those obstacles and things that have happened throughout the course.
That's
Just like
right.
you're driving, you're driving on the expressway. You intended to keep going straight. You're doing this, the said speed limit. You're following said rules or laws of the road. Just like you say, if you're following certain, universal natural laws, of the world or whatever like that. That doesn't mean you're not gonna, come across an obstacle, whether it's a pothole, whether it's a storm or whatever the case. So, um, outside of that, now that's what the power and the real secret is. Now, how do you stay along the course amongst obstacles, right? It's
Mm,
because now that is going to be create some sort of distraction or imbalance of power or focus and direction. You can't possibly get to the destination without knowing the direction, right? Or without having directions or proper directions. You know what I'm saying? So you can get distracted and fuck around and venture over into an improper decoy. You know what I'm saying? Or detour. I'm saying. I mean, where you got detoured along in a whole nother direction, in which the mind thinks you're still on the right course. Like, all right, I'm still going, not knowing that you're now, you know, you're not evolving, you de-escalating at this point. So you say you mentioned momentum. Well, the first thing is that's produced from the initial thought is the inspiration, right? So the inspiration, and everybody knows. So inspiration, the funny thing about inspiration and the power of inspiration is that you actually feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like when inspiration is something that's actually felt. There's a feeling to it, you know, whether it's acknowledged, you know, consciously or unconsciously or not when it happens, but it's a feeling. It's an amazing feeling. It's a great feeling. It's something that we want to hold on to forever, right? That's why when we get inspired, those that are conscious and wise to understanding the you know, the importance of that, there's a huge risk factor in relation to time, meaning that like time of execution. So the second you get inspired, you have to immediately go into the course of action, because now I thy God self, you know, have thinketh, you know, now I must active upon, you know, the thought, and the thoughts are pushed or generated, executed based upon, you know, the power of the inspiration. So that the inspiration is actually like the bullet or the, you know, the engine that pushes, you know, the thoughts out into the physical world or whatever. So the minute you think off you fire it off the inspiration, you know, you must act expeditiously in order to manifest into the physical. So thought plus action equal manifestation. It has to be the action that manifests. So so you got the people that you know, get caught into just thinking a positive or thinking. You have to think of the things you want. You have to think of, you know, of how you want yourself to be viewed, how you want yourself to be accepted, how you have to think. You have to have you thinking because you have to have a visual. So once you see it, so that's another secret. So that's how you kind of forcefully manipulate, you know, manipulate the situation. If you can forcefully, you know, like smack yourself in the face with the images of the image that you want to see, or the things that you want to produce, or you know, or manifest, you know, in your life or whatever. You know, that's why people go and, you know, might go to the car dealership and test drive the vehicles that they want to drive. They might go house shopping, you know, for the houses that they see themselves, you know, moving into in the future. They might take certain pictures. They might, you know, these images. We just manipulating the situation by like purposely because we can think it all day. Now the power of the mind is incredible. So we don't have to do that, but sometimes if you are in a situation where you lack that motivation and that inspiration, now you have to you got to trick the system now, which is the mind. So you trick the system, you know, by purposely doing shit that generates those, you know, those chemicals in the mind that produces these visions and thoughts that now redirects the focus to the area in which you're trying to travel in or whatever, you know.
That's 100%, because I like how you said that, because naturally our minds like to do things that we've already experienced before.
Exactly.
So if we can manually choose what we're going to experience and what we're going to do, we can put ourselves in that situation, just like you said, to test it. And then we've actually had experience of something, and then we can build on that way easier than just building off of just a thought. You know?
Yeah.
If we experience it a little bit, it's way easier. So definitely.
So, and then now once you do something once, it's easier to do it twice. You know, you just got to, you know, maybe have to do a hard reset and stuff like that. But yeah, the thing is, you know, now does this momentum of the vibration of momentum or inspiration and you know, just this manifestation power, because you'll get to the point where shit, anything you think, you just producing, and you know, the art of production and creation is actually, you know, a direct act of God. You know what I'm saying? So any point in time where you're actually creating, which is also releasing certain chemicals and things like that in the mind, you know, and it has a spiritual connection as well. You feel a certain way when you not maybe not well. It's two different things. You want to be able to feel a surge of power, inspiration, and drilled focus in the midst of creation, that's when you really are, counteracting the act of God. But sometimes we might lack that inspiration, so we got to force our way through the work to meet the finish line of that creation, or come to completion of that creation, in order to manifest the power of the creation. Because you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us start things but don't finish it, right? So we have to sometimes we have to force ourselves to the finish line in order to reap the benefits of the manifestation. You froze up. Mic check. Hold on. We lost Clocksyn, y'all. Hold on. Mic check. What y'all on, man?
What happened?
Yeah, that the frequency they had to cut us. They had to cut us.
Too high, bro. Damn.
Somebody said, they say, easy to get stuck in your head. Oh my God, that's a big deal. That's a big deal as far as getting stuck in your head. Well, let me tell you something. Everybody gets stuck in their head at some point in time. You see what I mean? Shit, I was stuck in my head for the past 5 hours. You see what I mean?
Really?
So it was, oh yeah, all the time. You know what I'm saying? I get stuck in my, I might go through phases where I'm getting stuck in my head, where I go back into, I call it, the Matrix. I believe it was the Matrix 3 when Neo was stuck in the train station. You know what I'm saying? Stuck in limbo. That was a symbolic and metaphysical reference of being caught in limbo. You know what I'm saying? The train is right there. You can just get on and go, or you can go, but okay, where am I going? You know what I'm saying? What's the destination? You see what I mean? Where's the actual path? So a lot of this happens because we've allowed our, maybe our, intimate space, our mental space, our spiritual space, our physical space to be, possibly interrupted or cluttered. So the more things that we allow in our space, is like the more things you bring into your house, you have to hurry up and and organize these things, these items, or even people inside of your space, or eventually things will get disorganized, cluttered, and now it's a bunch of confusion, within your space. So everything is about time and space. You know what I'm saying? What are you and what we are. So that's typically when we get caught in our heads. And then when we get sidetracked or derailed, and we fuck around and get off on the wrong fucking exit, and then what happens is you get off on the wrong. We are getting off on the wrong exit. Now we plan to just loop right back around, just you know what I'm saying, and kind of sometimes we just get right back on course. But sometimes you get off on the wrong exit, you be like, oh, what the fuck? You see traffic right here. Now they got construction. You telling me I gotta go this way, and sometimes you might wrap around and try to go past this, just like if a train coming. You know what I'm saying? You ever had one of them long ass trains that decide to stop? Really?
The timing now.
Right here, right now. And then they take the longest trains take the longest to pass. You like why slow down right here? Like, what is the objective here? You see what I mean? So you're not dropping nothing off. You're not. What are you doing? Trying to juice the clock? What's going on? I be trying to figure out a couple different options. You can sit there in a peaceful meditation and try to test your patience at this point, right? You could try to, because at this point now you're looking at other people. You're looking at the guy behind you, did a U-turn. You know what I'm saying? You're like, fuck, he must know the way. So you might, fuck it, I'm finna get up out of here too, right? So now you go around, you realize, damn, train right there too, right? So what do you do at this point? So sometimes, that's an example of sometimes you can't really escape the train, right? So if you can't escape the train, you have no other resolution but to just sit there, remain remain at calm, remain at peace. You know what I'm saying? And just reflect. So this is the time of reflection. You see what I mean? We just reflect and now remanage everything in our head. So now you got to replay the whole spectrum because now everything is based on time. Timing. Timing is everything. You know what I'm saying? It's like we have to act on things as soon as possible. You know what I'm saying? Like they say, the old saying of strike when the iron is hot.
Mm-hmm.
We got to act on things as soon as possible. While the inspiration, and to be honest with you, the most important thing is my biggest concern with not acting on things. To be honest with you, I think the biggest issue is the risk of possible sacrifice of the inspiration. Think about that. It's very hard sometimes to get re-inspired to be great.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, because anything can happen tomorrow. Something can happen tomorrow that fuck your whole shit up. And you might still be able to do it, but because you lack the inspiration, now it's going to take you more time to do it. Because now if you have a very strong mind, you know what I'm saying, which we have to, you know, train our minds to do this, because ultimately all this stuff means nothing if we're not able to move through shit when shit is not perfect, right? So yeah, you have to train your mind to still know what the mission, the objective, and the direction is. And now, because you have that strong mind, you can will yourself through the shit. So now you might have to, you know, like shit. I mean, today, shit, just before I got on lie to you, I had to like, all right, what can I? Because I got a lot of shit to do in a little bit of time, right? So it's like, all right, okay, how do I? Because the type of focus I have to get on to really do the things that I do, I have to move like a robot. Like I can't really spend too much time on one particular thing thinking. So I have to do. It's like I have to see and move. Boom, 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 boom. So that's not normal. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I got trained. I think I got trained on doing that. I think back in the day when you know, when I was real deep into like audio production and stuff like that, you know, and then just different things, you know what I'm saying? Any type of softwares I used to be deep into, whether it was design, audio, and stuff like that. The objective is to learn the learn the platform, learn the system, and then learn the tools within the system. Now, once you do that, now you're free to express yourself. Now you're free to express yourself freely, effortlessly, without and all time is allocated on the thought and the imagination within the thought, right? As opposed to what tool do I use and how do I use it to accomplish, you see what I mean? To put together this image, you see what I mean? Or to put together the sound. I don't have to exhaust that time because I already spent the time mastering the system and the tools within the system, right? So if I got somebody else looking over my shoulder, you know, because I ain't gonna lie, like back when I was heavy with it, like production was like something serious. Like people used to cover up their screens because they don't want you to know what type of plugins they using and how you build your tracks, you know. So we was accustomed to speed. So whatever we was doing, flying across 3 screens at a time. So even though somebody watched you, they can't even determine what the fuck you're doing because you move it too fast. So knowing how to apply action, damn near, not necessarily at the speed of light, but at the speed of thought.
That's faster than light.